Hello. So I'm building these new goods wagons now, but the problem is that I'm missing a bricks and pieces order. So this is as far as I'm gonna get before I receive that one. So I've made two of these. I'm going to make one more. Then I have to finish it later. So I'm building these 8 wide. So I can show you, I built some other types as well. They are also missing some pieces, but not as many. So here's one. It's missing some pieces here and there, but from the same order. And I have actually 2 of those, and then I have 2 of these. So these are all the wagons was used in Norway for about 50 years ago or something. And this particular wagon was used for frozen goods. So you see you have this kind of vents, I guess, that was used for keeping stuff cooled. So I have 2 of these as well. And then last year I built actually very similar to this one, but in reddish brown. This is just a regular goods wagon carriage thing. So, and these I'm building now, they are used for carrying wood. So yeah, I think I'm going to put fill them up like this, and I also have some chains I'm going to use to kind of attach it. Yeah, but now I'm building the third one, so I will complete it once I have the bricks and pieces order. I actually set that bricks and pieces order back in 3rd of January. So they have some backlog after Christmas. The last thing I heard is that they are now shipping orders that was made on the 27th of December. So it's getting close to my order now, I guess. Just 6 days away, or 7 days away, or something like that. So maybe I'll have it in a week or something like that, which would be great. Yeah, so I'm getting the hang of this now because I've made, this is the 7th wagon I'm building this week. So yeah, I'm getting a hang of it. Oops. But still, how did I? Okay, I managed to do something wrong here. Yeah, here it is. That. I'm going to have 1x8 tan tiles all the way over here. That will be the kind of base floor for the wood to lie on. And those I order on Bricks and Pieces, so I'll have to wait for them. Because then I will continue with these over here, but those will be kind of held up by the tiles. So that's why I have to wait for those. The reason I'm starting to build them because I'm going to this exhibition I'm going to be there in 3 weeks, so I just have to do as much as I can now. So once those parts arrive, I can just finish this off, so I will be ready. So I'm going back to Mountain Brick, just south of Trondheim. So that will be the last weekend in February. So that should be a lot of fun. Oops. I'm almost at the point where I can't do anything more now with this one at least. So yeah, this is a pretty quick build as it's not that many parts. It's an open carriage, so oh, those shouldn't be there. Those should be here. Yeah, and then I'm not using magnets to hold these together, as those old magnets without buffers are getting quite expensive. So I'm using these ball joints instead, like that. So then I can just connect these like this. That works very well. I've used that on a lot of carriages lately, and they work fine in going both directions, and also they work great in switches and in turns. So that's a good solution, I think. Okay, so this is as far as I can get until I receive more parts. So I'll try to live stream again when those arrive, but don't worry, I have more stuff to do, so I'm not going to end this live stream yet. Because I also have another one of these. So this is the last one, so I can build that one as well. I made 2 of these of this one yesterday, so that's why I kind of remember it quite well. It's always nice, or always exciting to see if I've gathered the correct parts. So the base is the same on these carriages and the one I'm building now. It's the same base as it was in real life as well. So the base they had for all these carriages was the same. This has a bit more pieces than the other ones. Yes, I'm using white and black pieces here because they won't be visible once everything is done. So then I'm just using whatever I have extra. Just to make it more sturdy. Yeah, and I haven't added the ball bearings on the wheels yet, but I will do that another night. It's not that kind of interesting to view in a live stream, I guess. Where is that last one? There it is. Okay. That was that. And then I guess there are... Yeah, how was this? I guess I have to look at the ones or one of the ones I've already built, just to see. Just have to take it out, I guess. Oops. See how it is. So that's the inside. Quite simple. It's just those these ones. Sorry. That's down here. Hard to see as they are black, but that just holds all the panels up. And then the gravel on top just lie on these and in the corners. quite simple build. I'm missing some parts under here, some round 1x1 plates. That will make it a bit more sturdy there. That will come in a week, I guess. So I made a lot of Bricklink orders lately for this and some other projects, and I am quite impressed by all the. Mainly, I ordered from a European store, as I'm in Europe myself, and I'm quite impressed by the professionalism in those stores now. I think I've made about 10 orders in the last month or something like that, and I've received all the orders I made now way quicker than Bricks and Pieces at Lego, and all the orders were 100% correct, no issues, and they arrived within 1 to 2 weeks after I ordered it. So quite satisfied by all those Bricklink sellers. There are so many nice stores now. And the ordering process has gotten a lot better as well. Like last years, you have that instant checkout. You get to see the shipping quotas very often. You get them right away. You don't have to wait for it. You can see it before you order. The wanted lists are working perfectly, so you can see what store has the most pieces you need and stuff like that. It's been like that for a while, of course, but all in all, it's working really well, I think. You also have that kind of automatic, when you make an order, you can make it automatically remove the parts you have in that wanted list from, or move the parts you have ordered from your wanted list. I haven't dared to use it, but I guess it's working, so that's a nice feature, because then you don't have to manually go in and remove the parts. So yeah, Bricklink are doing great, I think. Mainly, I think the sellers on Bricklink are doing a good job. Maybe not Bricklink itself is the reason why, but the sellers are really good. At least the ones I've ordered from. And I don't kind of keep favorite stores on Bricklink in any way. There are some stores I've ordered from more than once, of course, but I'm just ordering from whatever store has the most pieces I need. I see that I'm using Norwegian stores a lot more now than I did before, due to shipping costs. And often also because I need something pretty quick. But there have become more and more Norwegian stores as well. So it's nice. More stores, and many of the stores have quite a good selection as well. So yeah, and nice prices as well, at least. Yeah, so now I'm building 12 quite similar structures that are going between the panels. So a bit repetitive, but fair enough. this is going to be the one of the end panels on the end of the wagon. So those are the same on each side, I think. Yeah, they're the same. And one more. I'm also really liking that the feature that you can very easily create a wanted list from a Bricklink file or a Bricklink Studio file. I'm using Bricklink Studio to do all these designs, and that process is very well integrated. Of course, since it's Bricklink who makes it, but anyway, it's a time saver to have that. It was much more tedious before with Lego Digital Designer, because you could upload the LDD file into Bricklink, but very often you would have a mismatch between some of the parts. So then you would get an error that you couldn't import the file because some part wasn't found in the system. Then you had to go into the LDD file and remove that file, then upload it again. And then you had to do that until you had removed all the parts that wasn't supported. But then, of course, you had to remember or note down all those parts that Bricklink didn't understand, and then manually add them later, because the parts were of course in Bricklink, but there was some kind of mismatch between the LDD software and Bricklink. So that process was quite tedious. But now, as Bricklink has both the software and the marketplace, that doesn't happen anymore, and that's really nice. Also, that you get a very good indication on part price in Bricklink Studio. That's also really nice. So you can see what color a part exists in, and also if the part is rare or expensive, I mean. So then you could kind of find another solution or another color or something like that, or another part, of course. Yeah, so now this thing is coming together quite fast, I guess. Gotten the end on. Then now I'm going to place the panels. So in some time, I'm going to publish some new instructions on my Redicable account for these carriages. So I'm just using this process now of building them as a kind of testing phase to see how they are. I've already done some changes to them just to make them more stable and yeah, make them more stable, and also make some support wherever it's needed, changing up some parts that wasn't used in an efficient way, stuff like that. And so when I have the time, I'll learn something new. I'm going to learn how to use the instruction feature in Symfony Studio. So I have had a quick review on it, and it seems to be quite easy, or quite easy to learn. I have to learn it, but it seems like a pretty straightforward process. So that will be nice to learn, I guess. Yeah, so I'm missing these 1x2 grilled tiles, going to go here, so that those will arrive in a week, I guess. So in total now, I will have a train with 11 of these goods carriages. That, and I will have 2 identical locomotives that will pull that. I hope it will pull it. We'll see. That's part of the project to find out. Yeah, now I'm missing. I did that on the other ones I built too. I was missing 4 tiles, so I guess I counted wrong on every one of them. That's 5. So I could have made this build even more sturdy, but I don't think it's needed. It doesn't appear to be. And then I kind of decided to keep the part count down for 2 reasons. It's cheaper, of course, but it's also lighter. So weight is quite important when you think about that something has to kind of drag this thing around the layout. And I'm trying to keep the weight down when I can. I've ordered like 500 1x1 reddish brown on Bricklink, and they were new. And I'm not questioning if they was actually new or not. But the problem is that some batches of reddish brown a few years back were not that good. They were quite fragile. And seems to be that although these parts are new, they are probably from that time. So a lot of them are breaking, which is unfortunate, of course, but I can't really blame the seller for that because that's kind of Lego's problem. So I could probably contact Lego about it and get some new ones, but it's a 1x1 tile and it costs like 300 NOK for 500 of these. Or maybe it was 1,000, I'm not sure actually. So they were quite inexpensive, so I'm not bothering to do anything about this, as there are just some of them who breaks, so that's fine. But it seems like Lego has fixed that issue because it doesn't seem to appear on your parts, which is a good thing. See, this final one was a bit tricky. What's happening here? So I have 3 connection points here. Try to get there. No, nope. One of them won't fit here. Let's see once more. Here we go. Or not. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and then we have these 2. Just making it a bit more sturdy. The corners here. Like that. Then going to recreate these. Yes, I'm using tiles and no, I'm using round and regular plates to make the gravel look alike on top. I'm probably going to revisit this part because it looks a bit flat. So I'm going to kind of mix it up a bit into different layers, so it looks a bit more random, not as smooth. But I'll do that later, not today. I'm also using the old gray color, the light gray color, just to make it a bit more kind of look like random parts of gravel. So I do that on my train tracks as well. I use light bluish gray and then light bluish gray and dark bluish gray, but I also use dark gray and light gray, which is the old colors. That is a bit different. I think that's a good idea, just to make it a bit more, should you say, a bit more realistic. This graveling part is quite tedious. It's just putting a lot of small plates onto a bigger plate. Okay, that's 6 by 10. 6 by 10 plate. So there's 2 6 by 10 plates and one 6 by 6 plate in the middle. So 26. And then the whole carriage is 28 plates long. If you want to compare it to something, I can show you a carriage from the Emerald Knight. So it's roughly the same length as the carriage from Emerald Knight, but of course a passenger wagon should be a lot longer than a regular goods wagon like this. So this one is 6 wide and this one is 8 wide. So the scale is not the same, but these two are actually the same length. So I've actually been thinking about something the last weeks, I guess. I haven't really decided yet because it's kind of a big decision. But I have the Emerald Knight, the Horizon Express, and the Maersk train, also the Hobby train, and the new Crocodile train. And as I'm building a lot of these trains on my own, which whenever I go to an exhibition, that's the ones I'm bringing with me. If I'm setting up a layout here at home, that's the ones I'm driving there. Those are the trains I have the most fun with. Also the ones I'm kind of the most proud of. So my question is, should I sell those old trains as they are just kind of sitting here, not doing anything but collecting dust? So, but yeah, and I really like those Lego trains. They look nice, and I'm kind of glad I got them. But now they've just been sitting there for, I guess, like since they were released, actually. So quite some years. And I have multiple of them. I have 3 of the Horizon Express. I have one Emerald Knight, but I have 2 extra carriages. The same with the Maersk train. I have 1 locomotive, but I have 2 extra carriages. So my question is, and they have become quite expensive on the aftermarket since they're nice looking trains. They're popular. So the question is, should I sell them and use those money that I sell them for into kind of investing more into the mock building? Because of course, building all these carriages, building the trains, building not least the mills plates and the layout and the buildings and all that I want to build, and yeah, some of them already have built as well. But building all those, it costs a lot of money to buy the parts. So my question is, should I kind of sell the sets I have, use that money for this kind of train project I'm working on now? That's my question. And the problem is that if I decide to do it, I don't want to kind of regret it in a year or 2. Because I have done that previously. I sold the 3 first modular buildings I had, like Cafe Corner, Greengrocer, and Market Street. I sold them. But then a few years later, I regretted it, and I had to get them again, and that was quite expensive, of course. But then I learned that I shouldn't do that again. But now I'm kind of considering to do that again with the trains. Not considering that with the modular buildings. I want to keep them, but I'm considering to do that with the trains. And the difference is that I'm not going to build my own modular building collection. I might build one just to try, but I'm not going to build like a collection of them. But me myself building a collection of trains, I kind of already started that. So yeah, I'm seriously considering it because I could probably get around, I'm guessing 10 to 12,000 NOK, so about 1,000 to 1,200 euros for those 3 trains. I wouldn't be surprised if I could. So that would be a kind of really nice amount of money to use on this project. Okay, so now I don't have to kind of talk about that, but if you have any suggestions for me, shout out. Okay, so now I've built everything I can build of the carriages. So the next thing I'm going to do now is that I'm going to, I started here to build on a new locomotive, new steam engine. So I'm using some parts in a different color. I'm experimenting a bit because not everything works as I've planned. But yeah, I just have to continue on that. So I have the model kind of done in studio, but you have to test it in real life, of course. So that's what I've started here now. So I'm going to kind of move these carriages up on the shelf. Then I'm going to continue on the train. The plan is that I'm going to create 2 of these trains. 2 identical ones with different numbering because they were often used 2 together when they were also used back in the day. So in this model, I'm using a powered up large motor and the powered up battery box, of course, which has Bluetooth. So this is this kind of same setup as they used in the new Crocodile train. Same motor and same battery box. Yeah, and I'm going to put the battery box into the tender right here. No, sorry, the other way around, of course. Right, like that. The problem is that I'm missing the 2x4 tiles that I'm going to have around here. So yeah, won't be able to finish that. But I might pick, I think I'll find some parts in a different color just so I'll be able to test it. And these are all the parts that I have now, which are going to be used on the train, but I'm still missing a few parts. So like this round part here, that one should be in dark blue, which is a really rare color for that part. So, but I found a seller in the UK who had the 2 of them. So that order is probably coming next week, I hope. But until then, I'm using red ones just to see how it works. And first thing I noticed is that this one can't be this loose, so I have to find a second connection point for it. So it will sit. And I also found that this Technic part here, this one has friction, so it doesn't really move sideways, and that's a no-go. So I have to find another solution there. I guess that's doable. And then I also have a problem here as the what do you call this? Yeah, these wheels, they are clashing into this one. I thought I had fixed it, as this one is down a bit there, but it's not enough. So I probably have to either take this a little bit further forward, or I have to kind of redo this module in a way. But I also think that's doable, so that's nice. And then the last thing is that I'm also a bit worried that this would crash into here. But I think this is enough movement. I don't think I need more movement than this. I'm going to kind of, oops, sorry. I'm going to run this on R104 curves from Trixprix and 104 switches. So this should be more than enough. Yeah. And then I can see if I can test it again. The motorization should work. I'll open up the Powered Up app. I've also got myself an iPad, so I don't have to use my phone next time I'm on an exhibition. I can just use the iPad, and then I can have multiple trains running on the same interface, which is nice. So this runs really well. Yeah, this works like a charm. So I have now quite extensive experience by building the Dovre Giant. So I hope that this will be a kind of smoother experience. It's an easier train. It's not that big and complicated. So this should be hopefully it will work in 3 weeks. And I think so. So the plan is that for the show, a Mountain Brick, in 3 weeks, I will have one example done of this one, and then in the next exhibition, which is in April, I will have a second one. So then I can put them together. So that should be nice. And I see that there are some parts here that it works, but it's not that stable. So yeah, there are room for improvements here, of course, as it should be. Yeah, so I think I'll start by trying to kind of finish up the tender. And to do that, I have to open Studio. The problem is that I'm using the webcam on my computer. So in order for you guys to see the building table, I have to kind of angle the screen in such a way that it's quite difficult for me to see Studio. But yeah, you can't see it, but I'm in Studio right now, just figuring out how everything fits together. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to replace some parts now with parts in a different color, just so we'll be able to test this. Yeah, so I'm going to use white instead of black, so that's quite a contrast, but that'll do for now. I'm also missing 1x6 plates in black, but I'm also getting that one from the seller in the UK, so that's a part that obviously a lot of stores have. So that's nice. I'm just looking here now to see. Really? Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm building this with the wrong colors and everything now, but the point is to see, is this thing stable enough? That's kind of the only thing I want to know now. Oh, there are 2 layers on those. How the heck does that work? What? Sorry guys, but it's quite difficult to do while shooting video. So I think I will end the video now because I need to look at the screen while building. So I guess I'll see you guys later. Have a nice evening, and then we'll get back later on. Thank you. Bye bye.